So you know how Australians feel about Donald Trump in the US of A. Um, they basically think he's a toxic, narcissistic creep who doesn't respect his own allies. He hasn't taken responsibility for his crap. Um, he seems to have some kind of complex that comes from some kind of a Grigor-like situation that we've been working on for some time. Um, so you look at the kekistocracy videos that might describe it to you a little bit, okay? What's happening is they've taken a toxic narcissist named Donald Trump and they've allowed him to get away with umpteen different things over the course of 50 or 60 years or however long it's been. When he first became an adult, maybe about 50 years ago, so I'll say 50 years, um, umpteen different things he's gotten away with. And they're sort of fed into his delusions and lies and whatever else. He's been butted up by the KGB, by the looks of it, as Agent Krasnov or something like that. They're giving him money to prop up his failed businesses and all kinds of things. These are all kinds of things that an ordinary person would probably might take a hint that he's on the wrong path and he should change it. But no, but that guy he was in a peculiar set of social circumstances where they were supportive of his toxicity because they had a fair bit of their own by the looks of it. And eventually it's got to the point where they're little drug-fucked, alcoholic, fucking little cartel of, it's like sort of, not really sadistic so much as, like not particularly smart characters have come together to create some kind of a fascistic-like situation where they had plans and agendas where they thought they were better than everyone else, because the more you get away with, the better you are than other people. It's not about... But characters like that, being a better person isn't about having a good moral compass and genuine knowledge and care and concern for the community. It's about getting one up on someone else and showing that you can do it by getting away with stuff that you shouldn't be doing in the first place. And so, because he was quite successful at that, he became popular amongst a certain social circle of individuals who thought of him as some kind of leader and them as their protege, because they wanted to have the nous to be able to get away with as much crimes as they could, because they just don't have respect for other people. And so when push came to shove, it suited the interest of the Heritage Foundation and whatever else by the looks of it, and other groups to cause a general offence to the American community through the long trend of the Chicago School of Economics and whatever else towards the neoliberal policies that they were enacting to build up a long-term agenda of the corporatocracy that was being created by the merchant class, to which he's evidently part of. He's not the most successful member of the merchant class, but he's just successful enough to be part of their club and their milieu, and of course showing his credentials as a recidivist offender of different varieties and with a wide variety of crimes up his sleeve. That he is welcome amongst their kind as a successful business person. His job is to act as a sort of bouffant type character that appears on the media as a tough individual who shows that the world that he's it fits all the stereotypes that are required of a CEO or a corporate type character. He wears the suits, he grabs the asses, he looks like he's a slick mobster from the 1980s or the 1970s. He even has a fake fucking bronze tan to go with it. And basically, with his negative, toxic, narcissistic attitude and his general tendencies towards being a problem character in certain types of court cases, he has a tendency to live out what's called the American dream, which is 1980s neoliberal corporate policies enacted en masse with the eventual hostile corporate takeover of America Proprietary Limited, and so the sort of like the idea of the CEO as the sort of God Emperor type character, or fake Pontifex Maximus of the American corporate empire, is really just the laughing stock of the rest of the planet, which was fed for decades the Hollywood lie, apparently, that the USA was opposed to fascism in all its forms, and corporatization is an aspect of fascism, in case you're wondering. But anyway, sort of as a hyper-militarized authoritarian form of hyper-capitalism, it really wouldn't be surprised if corporatization were part of it, particularly when you're talking about en masse industrialism. Anyway, so with the advent of the Trumpian era in the United States of America, it really gave sort of some sort of cause, not de jure, but more cause tour de force. The tour de force for the lowest common denominator in English-speaking societies and perhaps other societies around the world. Again, not speaking those countries' languages means there's an inherent bias to focus on the English-speaking ones. They do have those elements, there's no question about it. Obviously, Franco didn't speak English, and neither did Mussolini. Nonetheless, amongst the English-speaking communities, there appears to have been some kind of encouragement, or subtle nod, if you will, to the sort of rent boys that would possibly put Uzo in that particular version of Zeus's cup. In the hope that they could become proteges to his greatness as a mobster and mafioso. And so when the Rent Boys of Fortune and the KKK and the Proud Boys and associated groups found that they were unable to do so because he had played off Andrew Tate with Elon Musk, and chose Andrew Tate over Elon Musk due to his apparently greater sexism. It's quite fascinating, isn't it, that Elon Musk, one of the most sexist men in world history, turned out to be less sexist by Donald Trump's standards than Andrew Tate, and so Andrew Tate obviously was preferred by Donald Trump, and you know, because Tate wasn't just grabbing him by the pussy, he was shoving him in a dungeon. Well, to be fair, dungeons are Uruguay quarters then kept women in apartments being treated like action figures for Sheldon Cooper's amusement when he feels like playing with them. Nonetheless, as it turns out, Mar-a-Lago is a good spot to have a couple of dungeons in it, and Andrew Tate's probably made himself at home by now. And having been chosen as Trump's protege, typically means that Elon's a bit butthurt, and he's been sending all kinds of nasty text messages, and so it's a sort of like a form of digital stalking that happens after a breakup. Yeah, but you're the mean one. Oh, you suck. Oh, what'd you do that for? Classic breakup symptoms. So, as anyone would tell you, there's nothing gay about fascism or the alt-right. It's completely faggy, actually, but we don't really want to say that because it might actually insult the queers, who are not like that. I mean, there's definitely conservative queers out there. There's no question about it. There's some very conservative queers. And they sometimes do like men in uniform, sometimes even in brown shirts, but only at costume parties, possibly the Hellfire Club, and definitely not Mar-a-Lago. And they're usually not fascists either, or definitely not neo-Nazis. Well, you know what they did to the queers in the 1940s in Europe? It wasn't nice. So they're not particularly keen on that. So they might be insulted by the analogy. Anyway, the point is that Trump having Andrew Tate as a protege means that Andrew Tate is now Donald Trump's rent boy. And so what he does is he puts Uzo in that particular Zeus's cup at Mar-a-Lago as he sits there on the 19th hole sipping away. And so while he's sipping away on his ouzo, he's oozing out Korsakoff syndrome through his own particular brand of tweets, which is apparently replaced normal government policy or administrative policy as the president's concerned, in a similar way that Fox News has replaced getting advice from actual people who are in the public service. I mean, after all, Doge's job was to fire all of them, so where else is he getting his information from? don't know, Tucker Carlson maybe. And he had a crack at them too because, you know, he doesn't like getting advice from anyone. As it turns out, he's been drinking a bit too much ouzo lately, and Andrew Tate, as it turns out, having been a former employee of the Australian Defence Force, is likely on the continent, and may have been released from his bonds in Romania, which everyone rightly believes he deserves as a consequence of being sent on a mission. Cheerio!